Y'all, I came home only to find Princess has taken today, all day, the opportunity to barf in the middle of my bed. Nothing quite like coming home from work to the creature who claims to love you the most having barfed in your bed. I think I need to turn on some lights. Hi everyone, my name is Kay, and this is my Cave of Possibilities. I have yarny knitting stuff to the left of me, cross-stitch stuff to the right, and here I am, stuck in the middle with you. This is I always forget since I think the intro covers it, a mostly cross-stitch, a little bit of knitting, casty-do, and I am really quite thankful for all of you who show up week after week just to see what craziness we're up to. I suspect most of you are here to check on Princess. She is still ruling the roost and has turned the ripe old age of 15, haven't you? She doesn't look to be slowing down anytime soon. And it's consistent in her ways of knocking the things over. Let's get started with the cross-stitch stuff that I am working on. I apologize. I know this is a week later than normal. I went to a home basketball game with my aunt. My aunt absolutely loves the BYU basketball team, and I get season tickets with my job. And so she and I went to the game last Tuesday night, and Tuesday is my filming, although I post on Wednesday. Blah, blah, blah. This is why I'm late. There's another Tuesday game coming up mid-December, so that might move us another week. I haven't really looked at the calendar to see if that's on a filming night or not. We shall see. Anyway, let's start with the cross-stitch projects. Let's start with Celtic Noel, seeing as she is the Big Mama Jama, the oldest project that I have been working on. I have managed to move her up a little bit. I worked on, let's see, this. If I drop it like that, then you can see through it. I'm using a hand towel to cushion the beads as I go along. The only problem I've encountered, let's look at the other side, is that the hand towel is not as wide as my fabric. So over here on the sides, it's a little loosey-goosey. So I have to be very careful with floating my stitches when I get to the edges, since it is loosey-goosey. But the tension is holding much better in the center. And as you can see from the center, I have managed to add from her elbow here up. I've extended the lines of the frames on both sides. I think this one can probably fit another length of thread before I have to roll. And I just have a couple more strands of the blend-in thread. Those are the holes that are still left in her dress. And then I think I will start working on her hair and face. Well, I've got to do the collar of the dress. She has some gold collar, some gold trim on her sleeve here, and some gold on her collar. And then it'll be the face. You can kind of see what she's going to look like. I am stitching her 2 over 2 on a 28 count linen. It is navy blue? I think it's navy or Arctic. I know it's something. Actually, I have the card in the bag, which is not at an easy rate. Nordic Blue. I'm pretty sure it's Nordic Blue. Anyway, she's turning out really quite lovely. I don't know why I don't love working on her as much as I enjoyed Lady of the Flag. I know part of my push for Lady of the Flag because it was a borrowed pattern and I really wanted to get back to the owner, but I just don't have the same sense of urgency with Celtic Noel, or Celtic Christmas, I think is what her name properly is. So there is my work on her. I don't pursue it as I could, but I'm getting as much of it as I want. Take that for what it's worth. The next thing that I have to show you is a finish, and it is the finish for Joy from, what is it? Shakespeare's Peddler. Yep, Nashville exclusive. And so I finished that up, oh, maybe 2 weeks ago. Whoops, got a little fuzz on it. Here we go. So you can see, I think that turned out really quite nicely. I ordered, this is a 28 count, and if you're going to stitch her on 28 count, you need 2 skeins of the parchment. And I ordered a second skein of parchment when I realized that I would need it. And it came in so much darker, a completely different color than what the other skein I had is. And so I stitched all the interior of the vase with the new skein of parchment, and you can see that it is noticeably different. And so I saved what I had left so I would be able to finish out the white border on the project. And then I went digging through my collection to see if I would have something that would coordinate well enough to do the words joy. I thought that I would be able to use whitewash or grits because I had a lot of both of those, and it turns out that those were quite a lot lighter than the parchment from whoever these people were. I don't remember. And I put all the threads away. Anyway, I think it was a Gentle Arts. Parchment on the Gentle Arts. Week Star Works, and no, yeah, Week Star Works was for the grits and other thing. Anyway, couldn't quite make it work, but I did find a light khaki, and light khaki was a Week Star Works, so I used that to finish off the joy. And so I think we managed to make it work. So I'm kind of pleased how it turned out. I think this one is going to be a permanent resident in the under the box bin. No plans to finish it or frame it or anything like that. So it turned out well. This is a 28 count salted caramel from number 12 Stitch Co. They have an Etsy store, and I think they have a regular store. They're out of New Zealand, not New Zealand, they're out of Australia. And I don't know if they are still shipping to the US with all the tariff nonsense that is going on. And I stitched 2/2 with the called for colors, except for Joy, only because I ran out. I counted the number of strands, not 2 stitchy, lengths that you would stitch with, but the full 6 that come off the thing. And so I had 2 and a bit left of my original skein of parchment, and that was not enough to have done the joy. I would have come up, just like half a strand, 3 stitch lengths, 4 stitch lengths. Anyway, short. I would have been short. So I did it the best that I could to make sure that we had a mostly cohesive piece without having to do a lot of frogging. So that is that. We're really pleased how that one turned out. It was living in a pansy project bag by me. The next thing I started and finished, I think I showed this to you guys last week. It is the Nativity Berry from Erica Michaels. And I just kind of went to town on this one and got it all done. The fabric was the called for, but I think over the years between when it was originally designed and now the dye lot has changed, so it's a little more gray than the blue that the picture shows. That's fine. And this color over here in Joseph, he's supposed to have 2 different greens, or what I suspect a green and a gray or a brown. Not really sure. His one sleeve is the browny gray that's really closer to the green. Anyway, it's almost the same as the other color, so it's not really indistinguishable, and I think that's another just dye lot issue over the years that has happened since the dyes have changed. So this is, what is this? It's the called for, so I should be able to look it up. Nocturne from picture this plus. It is a 32 count, so of course it's stitched more like a kind of a 28, like a tight 32, but not quite a 36. I can't do math, you guys. I math all day. I'm an accountant. When I come home, I'm not mathing. No more mathing. 2 over 2, called for 36 with all the called for flosses. I think it turned out quite nice. And so looking forward to, maybe I'll get that one finished into a berry. And this guy was living in this cute little project bag made by me. Alright, I need the big board again. Because the big board really does help. So the next little project that I have been working on, it's kind of fallen into my Monday stitch, and this is The Colors of Water by these people. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce it since it is not in my native tongue. And my native tongue has a hard enough with its native language that I'm not. I will not slaughter somebody else's beautiful language. I am working on this for a friend who has terminal cancer. So here we go. The last time you saw it, I had not finished this square, so this square was all done, completely new. And then I moved up and have completed the background for that square up there and started working on, well, next Monday I'll start in on the filigree to fill that in. And this filigree is one color, and then the one down in the block below is another color, so I'll kind of just move down, finish as much of that block as I can, and then I'll move over. I am stitching it on its side, a 90-degree twist, because my top strands go a different direction than my friend's top strands. And in reality, this thing, this Colors of Water will hang in this direction and not this direction that I am stitching it as. I suppose if I ever stitched it again, I could hang it in the direction that I had stitched it, but if I was stitching for myself, I'd stitch like that, and blah blah blah. Brains wandered off the trail. Here we are. Okay, so that one, also living in a pansy bag, but my mom made this pansy bag for me. Doo-wop. Oh, that is, Colors of Water is being stitched 1 over 2 on a white even weave with the called for silks. So we're just kind of doing a little bit at a time. I think maybe I am more of a process stitcher because this is not a piece that I would ever choose for myself, but I don't hate working on it, and I really just enjoy sitting there and just making my little X's, counting out, coming back, counting out, coming back. Anyway, I think that one's more processy for me. I am enjoying it just right. Okay, the next little thing that we worked on is Christmas by the Letter. This is a Lizzie Kate, and it is an old Lizzie Kate. Is it 2009, I think? I think that might be the right one. Copyright, yep, 2009. Almost 20 years. You're kind of standing on everything here, little cat. So, right here, above the H, this is 50% done, so I'm halfway done. And then I am working from here down, and I finished. I had the R partially filled in, I think was the last time you saw it. And then I finished the block for the R and the lettering, and then the icicles and the glow, finished all that wording. So now I just need to go in and finish the little doodahs. There's some bells that will go right here, and then the rest of some snow and stuff that will go right there. And I think that will all go in really quite nicely. This is a 32 count raw gold linen. I'm stitching it 2 over 2 with the called for flosses, except for the border. That is a Threadworx floss that runs from red to green. So it is very, very Christmassy, very holiday-ish. And I am enjoying it quite a lot. Excuse me. And this is living in a big old bag from So Much to Love. I know, a bag I actually purchased and didn't make for myself. Let's see. And that is pretty much all that I have going on as far as cross stitch goes. I'm working on a blanket in my knitting, but it doesn't grow very fast. It's a corner to corner, and so I'm currently on very long diagonals right now. So it takes a lot of time to get across one row, and so the progress is not super outstanding. I'm about ready. I think I need to weigh my my ball of yarn to see how close I am to getting done with that, you know, having about 50% left, and then I'll start shrinking it down, going smaller, 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 smaller. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be excellent. Work's coming really well. It is almost time for budgeting season, and so budgeting season is very, very busy. It's a lot of fun, but kind of busy. I think predicting my revenues for the next year is the hardest thing I do. Everything else is like, well, we are going to allow you to increase whatever you did last year by 2.5%. So that's really just taking a report of everything we spent last year, increasing it by 2.5%, and then since I hate uneven numbers, you know, like, you know, 6.258193444%. I'll just, you know, do a little bit of rounding up so my numbers are nice and even, ending with 0s or 5s. Mostly 0s because I like nice even numbers, nice round numbers. One more football game left, home football game left of the season. That's going to be the day after Thanksgiving. I am debating on going up to Stitchery Express this weekend for the Saturday Stitch-In. I haven't been able to go up and see what everybody is up to because we have been so busy all summer long. I think it started in June. Yeah, it started in June. I haven't been up there because July was family vacation, and then August we did a couple of retreats, in September a couple retreats, in October a couple retreats, plus on the days I didn't have a retreat we had home football games, and so I have season tickets to the football games, so we got to go to the football games. Anyway, it has been a crazy busy summer and fall, so I haven't been able to get up there. So I would really like to go up and see what's going on. Yeah, stitch with the ladies, have a good time. Oh, speaking of the local ladies, I know I brought this up last time, but coming up here on February 21st, our friend Brooke is hosting a little Galentine's one-day stitch-along, well, stitchy retreat. So enjoyable. We went to the one she had just right before Halloween, had a great time. She really kicked it out of the park with some of her ideas and fun and games and whatnot. So there's that. If you would like to, local ladies, like to come and sign up and go stitching with that, how come none of you y'all were giving me a bad time when I thought all the local ladies, you know, to all the single ladies was such a good giggle? None of you mentioned it. I must be losing my touch. Completely losing my touch. Is there anything else, kitty? Yeah, she's still here purring. Give her the petty pets. But I think that's pretty much all we've got going on. It's a short one, as usual, and I managed to get through it without hacking up a lung, so 2 thumbs up. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope that winter is not settling in too deep around you. I do enjoy a little bit of the cooler weather, but not that much. Spring is my favorite season. I like that the sun's out more and things are starting to grow. and I'm just blathering on, having a little haver. So, we'll see you guys next time. Hugs and stitches, everybody.